So there are two very influential billionaires that we're going to be talking about in this video. Bill Ackman and Peter Thiel. They both have SPACs, and Peter Thiel's SPAC specifically is up over 25% just today. And it's up based on a rumor that they might acquire a company. And I want to talk about whether or not I think it's a good idea to invest in SPACs like this before a merger is announced, and why I recently changed my mind because of one of you in the comments. So stick around. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for joining me for another video. I'm Richard Allen. We talk about stocks on this channel, and we talk about SPACs a lot, like a lot. And a lot of you have asked specifically about PSTH. This is Bill Ackman SPAC. If you don't know who Bill Ackman is this silver fox of a man. Bill Ackman is an American investor and hedge fund manager. He's the founder and CEO. I'm kidding. I'm not going to read this from Wikipedia. Bill Ackman is an amazing investor. This year, he made what some people are dubbing the best trade ever. He bet $27 million that the stock market was going to crash earlier this year. And it did. And he turned that $27 million into $2.6 billion. Wow. Talk about a trade. This guy's brilliant. So it's no wonder why people follow him and are excited about his SPAC. Again, his SPAC is called PSTH. This is a SPAC that does not have a merger yet. But this is a company, and Bill Ackman says it himself, they're looking for a mature unicorn. So it's no wonder that they've had rumors like, hey, we're going to merge with SpaceX, or we're going to merge with Airbnb before Airbnb announced their IPO. Another rumor was they were going to merge with Palantir. The most recent rumor is for them to merge with Stripe, which would be very, very exciting. And we saw a little bit of an increase in the share price when that rumor came out. But I've been very frustrated about the rumors of PSTH, and I haven't invested because of the rumors, because of the ups and downs. Now, one thing to note with PSTH is it's not like every other SPAC. This is, and at the time when it came out, is the largest SPAC ever. $4 billion. It's a massive, massive SPAC. It's huge. And the low price of the SPAC is $22 per share. Every other SPAC I've ever seen is $10 per share. So this is 2.2 times higher than the average SPAC price, okay? So when you look at the SPAC price of PSTH, you have to factor that into your thinking. Because right now it looks like it's kind of expensive, right? And that's what I first thought when I saw it. But the low price of PSTH is $22 per share, okay? So you've got to think about that when you think of PSTH. I want to show you a comment thread on a video where a guy named Javier commented about PSTH, and I said, I wish PSTH wasn't such a rumor mill, but I am sure that Bill Ackman will do something special. So that's what I said to Javier when he brought up my largest holding is PSTH. But then he came with this comment, and this was 3 days ago. I post a lot of videos. If this was 3 days ago where I was talking about kissing Steve Grasso, I post a lot. If you guys get sick of seeing my face, just tell me, okay? Tell me. Some of you already have, and that's fine. But here's what Javier said after I said this is such a rumor mill, okay? So here's what he says, and I'm going to break it down really quick because he essentially says that he parks his cash here. He sells out of other positions and parks his cash here because this usually trades within 25 to 26.50. And he goes on to say that I just know that as soon as something gets announced, this thing will move like a monster since we know Bill will only jump on a good cash-making company. By the time we get news, this will be up huge. So I prefer to have my foot in. And he goes on to say that I know that this is just dead money sitting there, but I don't want to miss out on the opportunity, essentially. And then he goes on to quote Tom Nash, which is amazing. He says, blah, blah, blah. But this is really cool. And I didn't think of Bill Ackman's SPAC in this way. I just didn't. And based on how I normally trade, I don't want to really park my cash somewhere. But when Bill Ackman announces something, like officially, when they actually have a merger, this could be massive. We could miss out on 30, 40, 50% run up, like that. And I think we're experiencing that right now with BTWN. Now, this SPAC was just announced on the 7th. Like, it just started trading publicly a week ago, just a week ago. And now it's up at $13.58. After hours, it went up another 6% almost to $14.35. It went up massive. Because the deal that they were talking about merging with Tokopedia, which is a massive e-commerce business in Indonesia, valued at like $10 billion. This company's a big deal. It's like investing in early Amazon, or investing in Jumia or Mercado Libre. You know, Mercado Libre is the Latin American version of Amazon, essentially, and it's worth $80 billion already. It's had a tremendous year. Now, Jumia is like the Amazon of Africa, and they're only worth about $3 billion. So Tokopedia already has them beat by a lot, but there's so much room to run in Indonesia with this company. So I understand why people are excited about it. I get it. But these are all rumors. So what do I think about parking your cash in SPACs? I think when you're talking people like Bill Ackman and Peter Thiel, I don't think it's a bad idea. What about a SPAC that isn't backed by people like Bill Ackman and Peter Thiel, or Chamath Palihapitiya isn't involved? There isn't a guarantee that they're going to pick a great company, even Bill Ackman and Peter Thiel. But there's a sentiment in the market. We just talked about sentiment in our last video. There's a sentiment in the market that they will pick a fantastic opportunity. So you have to factor that in when you think of these SPACs. So I think when I have extra cash laying around, I may park it in PSTH. Bridgetown or BTWN, which is Peter Thiel's SPAC, I don't know. It's already run up a lot. I mean, almost 30%. It's massive in one day. And that's the kind of gains we could potentially miss out on with these SPACs. I mean, they run up just like crazy. But what do you guys think? Like, let me know, right? I don't know. Is Javier way off base? Did he sell me a pipe dream? Did I get sold? Did you know that the easiest person to sell to is a salesperson? Because as long as they trust you, you got them. And Javier, I trust you, buddy. And you sold me. Maybe you sold me. I don't think you sold me. I really like your logic. I think it's a great idea. I think you're right that we could potentially miss out on a big run-up, like a huge run-up. And I think today illustrated that for us, right? That BTWN, it's already run up almost 30% just like that. And it could come crashing down again, right? It could, and crashing down is relative. It's only going to come down to $10 per share, $10.50, something like that, right? If Bill Ackman SPAC PSTH comes crashing down, it's going to crash down to $22 per share. So is it really crashing? Your downside potential is very small. It really is. If the stock hasn't run up yet, if they haven't announced the merger, your downside potential is actually really, really small. But your upside potential is great. So it's a low risk, potentially high reward situation. I like those odds. I really, really do. So I'm considering parking some money, especially in Bill Ackman SPAC. I don't know if I will with BTWN until we know for sure that this merger is going to go or not. But I'm excited about this merger. I do want to make a more in-depth video on BTWN because I think it's a big deal. I think the merger, if it does happen with Tokopedia, they own some payment processor company called OVO. This could easily be, a $50 to $60 billion company within the next year or two if they get the right people in there. And they already have some great backers. SoftBank's involved. Richard Lee is involved. I mean, there's some massive people involved with Tokopedia already. So let me know what you guys think about parking your money in SPACs. I would love to hear your opinion down in the comments. I really, really appreciate that sort of thing. Guys, I talked about this in my last video. I'm finally going to do a Patreon that I'm really, really excited about. But one of your suggestions is something that part of what we're going to do on the Patreon. You guys get to pick stocks that I have to invest in, and you guys will be able to mess with me probably, right? Like we're going to pick like 5 or 10 stocks I haven't picked yet. Hopefully we'll have the Patreon up by the end of the year, but you guys will be able to pick 5 or 10 stocks. You're going to vote on some stocks that I have to invest in for the week, and I have to try to make money. So you guys are going to get to play with my money over there. I don't know if that's a good idea yet, but it sounds fun because I don't want it to be a boring Patreon experience where we just talk in Discord and that's all we do. I want to kind of have fun with it, like this channel. I want to have fun and make you guys laugh. And if you guys like to see money crash and burn and test me out as a trader, that might be something you're into, and we'll do that on the Patreon. Okay? All right. I like you guys. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining me for this video. As always, if you didn't already do it, click that beautiful red subscribe button down below, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks.